Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are. My name is Jessica Canellis. I do the marketing here at PeopleSense, and today our Lunch and Learn topic is going to be not just AP automation with Nimbello. I'm going to put our contact information up, so if you guys have any questions at all, you can contact any single one of us here at PeopleSense. You can contact Jim Castellano, the president and owner, myself, Jessica Canellis, for intuitive needs. You can contact Gary Cerny for made and managed needs. You can contact Brian Tognoni. And just for about everything else, you can contact Chris Godfrey for Acumatica, HR, payroll, time and attendance. And also today for our session, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the question box. Or if you would like to physically ask your question, just press the button to raise the hand and we can unmute your microphone and you can speak. So now I'm going to go ahead and kick it on over to Nathan over at Nimbello to get this started.
Thank you, Jessica, and thank you everyone for joining. Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen. Well, thank you so much. So you can see my
PowerPoint.
Where it says Nimbello solution. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining. It's great to be here, great to have the opportunity to share with you today. Again, my name is Nathan Barry. I'm Vice President of Sales with Nimbello, and excited to give you an overview here. I have been able to work with some of the team there at PeopleSense over the last several weeks and just had some great experiences and already looking to move forward on a couple opportunities. So we're pretty excited about that as well. Today, I want to take about the next 15 minutes or so and run through about 10 slides here that will give you an overview of Nimbello and frankly, the message that I hope comes through today, and if you were to walk away with one thing, it would be that Nimbello we are experts in automating PO-based invoices. And we're really going to differentiate between simply an OCR reader, simply an invoice reader, and more towards a PO based invoice and the matching of those and the management of those. Nimbello focuses on complex invoices. We process a high volume of invoices and we do it accurately and we do it quickly. And the third thing is that we are a full service operation. A lot of times what you find throughout the industry is you get a single service. It's a software service, and oftentimes it lacks accuracy, it lacks effectiveness. And what we bring is the combination between the software and the people. And so it's a full service operation, really elevating the efficiency and the accuracy of our solution. We focus primarily on the healthcare, higher ed, and manufacturing industry. So we do have a fairly acute focus so that we can really go deep with our customers. So rather than casting a very wide net and not really being deep anywhere, we like to dig deep and keep a more narrow net. We work with companies that scale from all different sizes. Thinking about someone who might write 30 to even 50,000 invoices a year, up to 500,000 a year. And our solution tailors and scales based on each particular client. We work with all types of invoice formats, email, paper, EDI, and such. As I mentioned, we focus on three primary industries in higher ed, in healthcare, and manufacturing. And you see some of our logos here with clients, and many of these have been clients for several years. We have been trusted, Notre Dame in particular, a university, we've been with them since 2010. And we have 100% client retention. And currently we're processing $6 billion worth of PO invoices every year. You see other logos that we work with here, and we do take security very seriously. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, And we are continually being rewarded on platforms like G2. In fact, we just got a fourth banner the other day. So we're very excited about the company, where we come from, who our customers are, and where we're headed. So as we talk about AP and as we talk about PO-based invoices, one of the things that we see on a regular basis with multiple customers is that accounts payable each day becomes more consistent or more expensive. We're seeing that upwards of over $9 per invoice and taking 10 days to process a PO-based invoice. So again, it's kind of this difference between, are you really trying to just capture some data from an invoice, or do you actually need it to match the PO and have a quick and an accurate payment sent out to a vendor? Because if that's the case, then oftentimes people are doing that internally, and it's a very manual process. And it's inconsistent. OCR reading alone on a good day is hitting 70% accuracy. And so with our solution being both software and service, we can get up towards 99% accuracy. And I'll show you a little bit more about that here in just a second. And then finally, as businesses grow, especially with manufacturing companies, as they acquire new companies and their businesses continue to grow, AP oftentimes is just unscalable. You have to hire more people. You have to do more on your own. You've got more internal work than ever before. And with our automation process, we're able to help a company scale and not increase a huge spend on the AP side to be able to do that. Now, this is the slide that I hope everyone takes a screenshot of. This is really the differentiator for us, because as I mentioned before, anyone can do AP automation. Now, how accurate that is, or how much work it requires the team to do, is much different than the Nimbello solution. With Nimbello, we take the majority of the work that is put on the company's people, their AP teams, and we bring that inside of Nimbello. We automate the entire process, from everything from the OCR scanning to inbox management to reading the invoice. One of the things I'm going to show you here in a second is the complex invoices, multi-page, multi-line. So we're talking about invoices that are 6-7 pages long, 30 line items, reading the entire thing. Where oftentimes the accuracy about reading an invoice is we can read the header, but when it comes down to the line items, that's where mistakes start to get made. And then matching it to the PO and making sure that the variances are caught, and then automating that fix. Nimbello has a complete rules engine where we can set the variance percentages based on of the variance between a PO and an invoice, and anything outside of that goes to approval, but inside of that we can fix it automatically, and all of that happens within the Nimbello solution. And so what's happening from an AP standpoint within each company is that the team at the company goes from managing 30 up to 50% of all the invoices needing fixes to now it's less than 10%. And oftentimes it's down closer to 1%. And then from there, regardless of the ERP that the company is using, in fact, I was working on an opportunity right now with one of your team members with a company they have 4 or 5 different companies within their organization, and each one has a different ERP. And so regardless of their ERP, we're going to send clean and accurate data. So that way vendors are getting paid faster, they're getting paid more accurately, and everyone's life is easier and they're happier. So when I talk about software plus service, this is how we go end to end with our solution, is all the way from the collection of the invoice, again, whether that's via email, whether that's managing an inbox or managing a PO box or a mailbox for paper invoices. We collect all of it and we walk it through the entire process. in a lot of cases, what we're finding our AP departments are having to pick it up in this middle section where it says process. So a lot of people can collect and digitize, but then the team has to jump in and fix all the errors. And they have to jump in and really walk it through a manual process to do the pair and match with the PO, to route it to the ERP, and then to send it into the solution for payment. And when there are errors, then they're manually having to send it back to reissue the PO and things of that nature. So it just takes extended time, extended effort, and extended expense on our customers. And so our ability to utilize our team along with our software gets our accuracy up towards 99%. In fact, the actual number is 99.4%. And we can process any average PO-based invoice in 48 hours. So within 48 hours, that thing is ready for payment. I did mention earlier that we specialize in the complexity of invoices. So it's not just reading the header. It's not a single line item. We work with invoices upwards of 6 pages and more, with well over 30 line items on each page. And so being able to automate that process of multiple line items on multiple pages connected to a PO, making sure that each line item is accurate and that the POs are being paid correctly, and that the AP teams are not being saddled with extensive work to go in and do all the fixes. Automating that entire process really brings significant value to our customers. And this is where Nimbello really differentiates ourselves. We have a dedicated implementations team. So anytime we bring on a new partner, and if we're working together, you can rest assured that each implementation will have its own implementation specialist who will put together a plan. We will work with the customer. We'll work with you all to discover, what are the goal dates, what are the launch dates, what are the integrations that need to be done, and then work backwards from those dates and build a proper implementation plan. We're also not a set it and forget it organization. So we have both operational support as well as technical support. So dedicated people for each of our customers that work hand in hand with them, not only during implementation, but then to optimize the solution as they grow. There's also, digital access, everything from phone and email support, ongoing training, a knowledge base for quick questions or quick tutorials on how to utilize the Nimbello system. And then we also have support email that goes to the entire support team. So again, one of the things that where Nimbello really differentiates ourselves is, if someone is just looking for an OCR reader, they're just looking for someone to read an invoice, we may or may not be the best fit for them. But if we're looking for someone who is able to then match that invoice to the PO, make sure it's accurate, have a high level of output, a clean, accurate output, then this is where Nimbello really begins to shine. And we do have our own SaaS workflow press, and that is available to anyone. However, they may already be using their own workflow in Sage or Made to Manage or any of the other folks that you all work with. And that's totally fine too, so that we can actually just send it to their particular platform. And again, we have customers who have multiple platforms across multiple companies within the umbrella of their organization, and that's fine too. We integrate directly into that. Now, we were just talking to a customer out in California recently, and they said, that's great. However, I want to standardize the kind of the workflow process that our teams use. And so we want to use your workflow. So whether they want to use our SaaS product, our workflow product or not, we have both of those options available to them. We do have a convenient package for them. They can work with us on an a la carte standpoint. So regardless of the level in which they need our services, we can set up packages according to that, whether they want to use our SaaS product or not, no problem. We do, in all of our contracts, we have a 60-day opt-out. So if they have any concerns, if they have any questions, they have the opportunity to be able to step away without penalty from Nimbello. With that being said, we do have 100% client retention, and that's with over 13 years of experience. So we are not afraid to put that opt-out out there. Again, if it's just OCR reading, if it's just an invoice reading, we may not be the best fit for them. However, if they're looking for true value and true automation, this is where we come in and begin to shine. Why Nimbello? I hope that the big thing is we're not just software. We have a dedicated team that are focused on our customers' success. We have accurate and verified PO invoice data. That's not something that a lot of people can say. And this is a huge thing for Nimbello. And this is where we really focus all of our energy and investment. And we believe for our customers that if we can automate this process, their vendors get paid faster. Their vendors get paid more accurately, and happy vendors equal happy life. No AP recovery. Let's get it right the first time, and we don't even need to go into AP recovery. And then world-class service. We always say that we are large enough to deliver, and we're small enough to care. And so every customer gets white glove service, and so we have world-class service. So this is why I would say that we would choose Nimbello. With all of that, I would love to kind of open the floor for some Q&A to see if anybody has any thoughts or questions.
Yes, again, if you guys have any questions, you can throw them down in the question box, or you can press the little button to raise your virtual hand, and I can unmute you if you want to physically ask your question. We can do that way either.
Hopefully everything is clear as mud.
Right, it looks like, oh, hold on. Nope, it looks like there are no questions right now.
Okay, well, please, there's my email on the screen. Please feel free to reach out to me directly. Would love to connect with any of you. If you have any questions or thoughts, would love to connect.
Yes, and I'm going to put our contact information up on the screen. So if you guys have any questions, okay. How does Nimbello connect to manage platform to enter the invoices and tie them back to the receivers? Is it based on having the API platform?
Yes, so we do have an open API and have integrated with Made to Manage. So we do have that as an option. We also can do kind of a more standard file share. So whatever works best for the company, depending on which version they're on, we can definitely work with you. But we do have an open API integration with Made to Manage.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Here we go. So this is a question about the exemption process with workflow. It says, say if there is a missing PO receipt, can the exemptions be emailed to the receiving team to manage?
Absolutely, yes, yes. And all of that can be set up in the rules during implementation and ongoing as things change. But we can, designated emails that those can be sent out to.
Are there any more questions? I'll give it a minute and see if any other pop through. And again, if you guys don't have any through this session and you think of any later, you can contact any single one of us here at PeopleSense. And if we don't know the answer, then we will patch you through to Nathan and the team, and they will get you taken care of.
All right. Well, Jessica, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who joined today. Hopefully looking forward to connecting with each of you in person one day.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. And again, if you guys have any questions, contact any single one of us. You can email us, call us here at the office, and we will get you taken care of. So thank you, everybody.